Good day, it's Joshua coming back to you again. Just got this email in and one of my email contacts, and as you know, on the 1st of October the President Bush at that time had ordered in a troop of 3,000-4,000 back from Iraq for his own personal army. And go back, you can check it out. And this here is saying that 20,000 troops are to be deployed in America. So we're talking that, why would they be deployed? Or is the powers to be to do the flag thing again and falsify some black flag operations? Are they intending to bring more 9/11 events, to fabricate them, to say, well, this is the work of terrorism, to use that as an excuse to go into your home, to take people away during the night? You know about the FEMA camps, right? You know about the red and the blue lists. Well, I believe we're about to see this activated. And like Matthew Stevens was saying, the Lord showed him that there's going to be a 100-day martial law, time of emergency in America and Canada. Folks, looks like this is in the works. That's no longer talk. It's not on the public news yet. But it is it's not on the national TV or that yet, but it's coming forth from other media. Now what's going on here? And just like well, maybe I can go back a bit. David Eels on American Last Days, and he was saying that 2009, what the Lord showed him, was the beginning of the 7 last years, or the 7 years left that's going to bring in the fullness of the Gentiles, and before the time, and before the Lord comes back. And this pre-trib rapture thing, I think, the churches that are teaching this, they're caught up in lies, and they're going to find themselves caught in the midst of all this. It's like what the Lord was showing David there, that we have to, time is coming that we're going to have to leave the cities behind and get into the country to learn to survive. And like Matthew Stevens was saying, this deployment of troops will be used to enforce this 3 months of martial law, and 20,000 is probably just the tip of the iceberg. And from what I understand, there's 100,000 Russian troops in America, ready for deployment, and they'll become our commandants. But the FEMA camps are real. Most of America, most of Canada are sleeping, especially the church. They're sleeping. They don't see the time. You know what time it is, right? And all this is happening because the freedom in America is being taken away because America, the church, has gone away from holiness. They have allowed the lives of 60 million kids to be destroyed. Just for that one judgment, God can destroy America, reduce it to ashes. He's done this in the past with past civilizations. America right now is hanging in the balances. But this report, this video, is to get out the fact that 20,000 troops are now on standby, ready for deployment. And my first intuitive thought was the bombs are going to begin to blow. And we may see some nuclear events, maybe in San Diego, maybe Chicago, maybe New York, other places. The bombs are already preset, according to what Bill Deagle have said. He doesn't speak off the cuff. You know, he has his sources. It's coming. America is about to lose its freedom. And I remember what David Terrell, when he was in Bellingham a little over a year ago, the Lord spoke to him and he said that we're going into the 7 last years in 2009. That the 7 years of good are at an end. I don't know whether we have 3.5 years, whether we're already into the 3.5 year mark. I know Matthew Stevens, he was saying that the mark's ready to come out in 2009. But maybe God's going to, I know the Lord's going to raise up revival and push back some of this. The devil can't, you know, he's on a timetable, he's on a leash, and he has to do according to God's plan. And that we need to come to the place of no fear of having perfect love in our hearts. Because if we're, you know, things happen and we react in fear, then we don't have the love of God in our hearts. But folks, this is happening. Troops, 20,000 troops are now ready for deployment. And you better pass this video on to your friends, pass it around in the churches, pass it around to your relatives. And you can go to Glenn Beck and Google him, and you can bring up this report. But all the true prophetic voices that are not prophesying false peace or prosperity. There's a lot of prophets, so-called, out there that are prophesying prosperity. And they're the false shepherds, they're the false prophets. And unless they repent, God's going to deal with them. He's going to take them out feet first. I know myself, you know, the Lord has given me an inventive mind, a mind to build survival technology for the bride, and I believe that's where my place is. And I'm going to do a separate video on this, but I believe I'm in the process of finding my place, the positioning of the Lord. But I'm getting this out to you now. You need to pray. You need to pack your things up in the city. You need to get out of the cities. Folks, you need to get out of the cities, or you will be trapped. And what the Lord's given me, you need to help me to build them. Some things I have to do here. You know, I like to be able to have a shop here where I have the finances to build gasifier units and things like that, where you can move out into the country and have your survival. You need to back me on this, because if you don't, and you're able to, God's going to hold you responsible. You know, I've been with the Sam Fife community, and just going out into the country and surviving is not as easy as you think. It takes a lot of forethought. It takes experience. You know, I've lived in the bush. I know what it's like. You can't just take a dozen families out there and live. There's a lot of things that you know, if it can be set up ahead of time, it's going to make a big difference. You're not going to end up, you know, making cabins and all that where you're going to freeze to death or having to chop 20 cords of wood to keep a house warm during the winter. This Joe pipe technology will keep your house warm, and it's very close to the point where water is going to be used as the main fuel. And you out there who are Christians, who believe, who know that we're going through the end times, I don't care where you come from, whether you're Seventh-day Adventist or whatever, you better back this person here and pass the hat around and get it to me, because I'll be using it for God's kingdom. And survival is something that God has put in my heart.